JM Race Engines is a new business in north central Missouri that have you covered from top to bottom for all your engine needs. Purpose-built engines with the correct amount of clearance will get you to the end of any show, whether it's your local shows or on the national level, where you can't be let down by your equipment. With top-level professional machine work to all engines, your choice of build is totally up to you. JM Race Engines will give you the confidence to push your equipment to the max while giving you your preferred horsepower to boot. From LS builds all the way to your exotic level small blocks that your imagination can only dream of, they have you covered.
But it doesn't stop there. They are also a speed shop that carries a variety of heads, carburetors, intakes, plug wires, helmets, and other safety equipment, and the best VP fuel on the market today to take you to the top. So if you're wanting mild build to wild build, let JM Race Engines help take you there. Ladies and gentlemen, Hard Nose Derby Podcast, Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
Merry Christmas, people.
Man, it's already that time of year.
Man, I hope there is round backs and
New styles
deuce and a quarters
old
just
threes
loaded up for y'all.
under everybody's tree.
That's a big ass tree.
What, have you seen all the trees growing through these cars? Wouldn't that be considered under a tree?
That yeah, very well could be. If it's coming through, it might as well be under it.
Well, let's start out with some informative post going live
Yes,
this Sunday.
y'all been asking. We're gonna oblige.
Yeah. It's your Christmas treat from us.
We will be over 4,000 followers because we're like 12 short right now. So,
Well, that was when we looked earlier.
yeah. So,
Thanks for blowing these posts up, guys.
yes. One little post.
We're going to be giving some stuff away.
I don't know how much we have to give away.
Well, it'll be a surprise to you all as well.
Probably not, because we got to shoot a couple texts.
All right.
We'll probably get you hooked up on some of the maybe the same stuff we did last time we went live, with some great sponsors that we have.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get you some discounts. We'll sling some merch. There's no telling. You know, we kind of play that by ear.
They kind of play that by ear, too.
Yeah, you remember last time we did this, we had them messaging in, hey, we'll give you this.
Correct.
Go ahead and give it this way.
Throw an extra 5 sets of shirts. 5.
Yeah.
Which I think, let's just hit off of it real quick. Triple B's Tees, they were doing a box
Yes.
for like $50.
Like a mystery box or something,
Yep.
right?
Yep. 5, I think there's maybe hoodies, hats, and shirts or something in there. I do know Ronnie Pickens,
Yep.
who's been on, he says he's got one. I don't know who else has got them, but I'm telling y'all right now, dudes, that's a smoking ass deal.
Well, and just think about it. It's Derby apparel. Like, you know, it might not be people that you necessarily would have bought a shirt from, but it's Derby support shirts.
And especially if it's a kid, once that kid gets that shirt,
He'd be looking
he
for that
might
driver.
not even know that dude. But now, oh, shit, Tyson Shelley is from Utah. So now, Dad, find Tyson Shelley on YouTube.
Yes.
And then you start growing another follower and another viewer.
That's how a fan base is built.
Yep. You know, the first...
Because nobody knew Gravedigger until...
No, who did the first backflip?
That's what I'm saying.
He just did a backflip. Now you're watching every show. Now you're taking people to the shows, live in person, St. Louis, Kansas City, Salt Lake City,
It's
Chicago.
definitely the trickle-down effect.
Yes. But
And it all starts with the consumer.
yes. You've always said sports got to have fans.
It does.
It's got to have fans. If it doesn't have fans, it will not thrive.
Right. That's why running's not for everybody. That's why I don't give people shit for not running.
Yeah. Yeah, not everybody can afford it.
No. And the sport needs fans.
99% of the time that fan is sitting there watching that show, he's going to be able to go to work on Monday.
Yeah.
99% of the time. We understand shit happens. Anybody ever thought Anthony Tripler would throw a drive shaft out of a truck in Utah and go laying up in the stands?
Right.
No. That's at 1%. Way wrong place, way wrong time.
Yes.
You know.
Well, and it's not just our sport that stuff happens in. So, I mean, you know, I've been at tractor pulls when turbos have come apart and come up in the stands and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
NASCAR races, they've had tires come loose or people hit the safety fence and
Go through the fence and land in somebody's lap.
that's all stuff that happens. But we're not here to talk about that today.
No. But what is so cool is we talk about parts guys so much.
Yep. Let's talk about the retail guys,
Yes. Yes.
your merchandise guys.
Your merchandise guys and your pay-per-view guys.
Yes,
We got two badass merchandise guys.
we do. But not only they're not the only two in the game.
No.
You know, we've talked about this a lot, but we've all kind of talked like where'd all this start?
Correct.
You know, like which we know that people have been writing names on shirts for years with Sharpies.
Oh, yeah. Doing
and
their home stencils.
Dude, love that. You know, especially whenever you go to like a homecoming and you see all the white shirts that are painted up, and you know that's awesome until you're ready to take that next leap.
And
that's where you started with, you know, the iron-on vinyls and stuff like that.
just like Justin, you know, when we had Justin on, Kings of Crash was in 2015, right? So that was before any really major stuff was going on out in Utah. There was killer shows, yes. But you would see broadhead decals on a guy's car with a roof sign with just a number,
Yep.
maybe a name, and then it almost looked like just block letters for broadhead decals going down these guys' fenders and quarters and roof pillars and whatever. And now what people have grown to, we get the graffiti stuff that's very popular now. Just seeing which guy, and it's cool because the consumer is seeing this, the mass differences and changes in the progression of these guys' door wraps and roof signs are on a whole different level. Same way with the apparel.
100%. But yeah, I mean, with all the apparel and stuff like that that's come into this, where did it all start? You know, I mean,
I don't know time frame exactly, but we all kind of know that derby tees was probably the revolutionizer, I would say.
well, and I'm not even, you don't even have to go that far because, like I said, I don't want to cut anybody down. You say derby tees to anybody in the derby community, and they know what you're talking about.
Oh yes, oh yes. There's great other shirt guys.
Yes.
But when you were, like I said, the revolutionizer of this, you got the ball rolling for everybody else. And once everybody sees, hey, I can do this shit too. And then next thing you know, guys are getting screen printers and whatnot. And, you know, you look and you've got Hill Job Graphics and you've got, you know, derby tees and triple B's. I mean, that's just, you know, 3 or 4 right there.
Well, and, you know, they've turned this stuff into more than just T-shirts and, you know, pay-per-views. You've got derby builds now.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That I believe is on Amazon Prime.
It is.
It's
Yeah.
cool. And, I mean, you're not talking like your backwoods guys on that, you know. You're talking Mark Elliott, Luke Softner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and given the real world side of Demolition Derby.
what a lot of people, we've talked so much, what some guys really think is, we're just dumbass rednecks out there beating on shit. Really.
Yeah.
And when you watch Derby builds with, talking with Luke Schaffner and, even Ryan, his brother, both those guys are college degrees. One was, I could be wrong on this one. One I thought was like a biochemist or some shit. Almost like a rocket scientist.
Yeah.
They're smart, so they have figured out how to implement all these brain things into their build process.
Well, and we've said it and said it and said it again. Numbers are such a big part of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm getting at is this whole televised situation that has come in, and the people that have followed trend with it has boosted this sport.
Oh yeah,
and taken it to a level that I don't know that it ever would have seen without the media coverage of it.
We talked to.
I mean, yeah, social media was a big deal, but this is taking the whole Derby to your house.
We talked to Sam. Blizzard Bash, they just went off a whim, and it's like, you guys got some cameras, and they've talked about it, and they was like, let's view this thing for free.
Right.
I believe he got with Josh Decker and Ben Hall, Ben Hall and everybody, and then the next thing you know, the next year, you can watch from your house for a little bit of money. And that just started the ball rolling with Trackshot Live, DerbyNation.tv, WeCrash.tv, Full Contact Derby TV. There's more out there. We know this. High Octane Media.
Yeah. You had Nebraska.
Yeah, Nebraska Derby. It's got to start somewhere. It's got to be the first person that says, "Hey, let's try this." And my opinion, I say revolutionize again with a couple different people that have tried to go forward in the sport to make it as mainstream as they can make it. Because, Blizzard Bash, Bristol, Spring X, Metal Mayhem, Border Wars, our dudes in Australia can watch it when we watch it. They don't have to be there. That's bringing that show to that consumer for a small price.
Right.
And get to watch it.
And how cool is that?
It's badass, that's what it is. Yes. But let's just get somebody on that might be able to enlighten us a little bit
100%.
on that. Just
let's make it happen.
We'll be right back.
Since Justin has been on board with us at Hard Nose, we have figured out how much Broadhead Decals means to the sport of demolition derby. His great quality parts are seen from coast to coast and everywhere in between.
But he can do more than just derby products. Your everyday business may need some pep in its step with new banners or stickers. And just give him an idea and let him run with it. Whether it's business related or just want to look badass in the winner circle, let Broadhead Decals work for you.
We do. Triple B's Tees offer custom shirts and logo designs for all your apparel and merchandise needs, offering a variety of shirts, hats, hoodies, tumblers, and koozies. Triple B's will work with you one-on-one to personalize and perfect your logo. With over 5 years in the business, 20 years in the sport, they live for demolition derby.
Chunk and his crew can bring your imagination to realization with zero limitations. So for all your badass tees, choose Triple B's.
Well, we said we had some questions and got him on.
Mark Klein, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys?
trying to catch our schedule and your schedule is kind of a son of a bitch sometimes. You know that?
Oh yeah. Trying to juggle just about everything in life, and then you put 2 or 3 lives together, and it gets tough.
It's fun, ain't it?
Oh, man, know that feeling all too well. Well, we've been talking a little bit about, merchandise and the broadcasting and stuff and how that has really changed the sport. Mm-hmm. And we kind of wanted your perspective and information on all that and how that come about on your end.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I tell you what, it's been a journey for sure. I never would have thought I guess it's been almost 22 years now, that we would be where we are, and really the sport would even look like the way it looks. I started in 2003. It was really just a college project that I had to design a logo and some sort of product concept. And so I hand drew the derbytees.com logo and then converted to vector on the computer and designed a t-shirt. I got an A on the project, so I just moved forward with that from there. And I remember, in 2004, 5, 6, just kind of thinking like, I need like a 10-year plan, and like, what if cars run out? Because that's been the talk for years and years and years. When are cars going to run out? And so as business was doing well, I didn't want to put all my eggs in that basket. And what if Demolition Derby doesn't exist by 2016? That was my thought. And so I began to kind of diversify into, the regular business sector and doing work for things that doesn't even include Demolition Derby. But that's kind of where I started from 2003 on, and just it's surprised me year after year after year, and it continued to grow. Not saying that our business, the Derby side of the business, like it doesn't double over itself like it did in the early years, but it's a gradual increase, and we're just doing the best we can, putting out the best product we can.
Well, Mark, in all your mind, did you ever think that derbytees.com would be where it is right now?
Never in a million years. I mean, I remember way early on, people would just come and they'd want to buy some stuff out of my garage. Hey, you got time to sell a couple shirts? And you're going to sell every shirt you can, given every opportunity, because you don't know when the next one's coming. And there'd be anybody that tries to run a business knows that cash flow is important. And when the winter months came in, before 2010. There weren't derbies year round, and so the slower months, if online sales weren't bringing anything in, you weren't making any money, and it wasn't really until the big money shows started happening year round to where it really started looking like hey, this is something that is really doable.
Now, you have full-time crews that work for you. We know that. A couple of your guys are actually very avid listeners, and we get to talk, through Snapchat and Messenger and stuff like that.
Right.
How you jumped off the deep end with DerbyNation.tv?
Well, I mean, dude, both feet in. What was the risk factor there?
Well, it's calculated risk because I don't just nothing grows overnight, and so I did stick my neck out hiring more people than I needed, but the idea was to try to grow into the payroll, I guess. And it's probably not the most normal thing to do, but when I believe in something and I go for it, we'll do whatever we can to make it happen. And that's kind of what we did was I knew I wanted, more than one videographer. I was doing it all myself for 2 or 3 years. And then when I hired one, I was like, oh, hey, this is nice. It lowered my workload a little bit. And then I wanted more and more, so then it started being like, okay, I've overloaded the videographer. Now I'm starting to do some more stuff, and now let's hire another guy. And so, really, when COVID hit, it was a tough time for a lot of people, including all of us, but it was also a great time to be hiring people because there were some really good guys available. And that's how we got some of our good guys. And we've been really, really fortunate to hang on to them too.
That almost sounds like passion for chaos.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
and go ahead.
the big part is now there's so many shows that are hiring you guys to come, shoot these. You've got enough guys. You can go to 2 shows at the same weekend with 2 separate crews.
Right. Yeah. We have enough equipment and crew to do 2. I tell you, it wears on everybody though. It's tough. And so we've this year have tried to not have double weekends when possible. The unfortunate thing is we still travel like 7 or 8 weeks in a row at a time, and so it gets physically draining, and mentally draining, really, to do all that. But yeah, we are able to do more than one in a weekend, and really the way Derby Nation has progressed. There are other producers on the network, so it's not just the DTV Productions crew. There is another crew out of Iowa that does like the Domination Motorsports into Missouri, and then there's some smaller ones that they also do dirt track stuff. The platform that we're on is the Speed Sport Rivet platform, and which is predominantly dirt track. And we came on in, I don't remember, 2015, I think, 16, to the Rivet platform. And we were the first, Demolition Derby stuff to come on the platform. And so there are, sometimes a Demolition Derby on at a dirt track. And so there's other things that pop up that aren't produced by DTV. And that's great because the more content, the better.
Well, Mark, what made you jump in the deep end with both feet to do Derby Nation?
Well, I kind of just saw an opportunity. We went to most of the bigger shows with doing the merch, and just nobody else was doing it. The DVDs market was kind of the only thing that had any sort of media to watch or whatever. And as technology progressed and the internet and everything progressed, it became easier and easier. And I just started doing dabbling in ways we could get it done. And my very first live stream setup costs about $350, and it's very laughable when you look back at it. It's like when we came on to the Rivet platform, I told him the device we used, and probably not even going to say it because it's kind of embarrassing, but I told him the device we used to first stream with, and he just laughed and laughed. He's like, "How did you even get that to work?" And I'm like, "I have no idea, but it worked."
Got lucky.
Yeah, right. So yeah. But,
Well, I mean, you talk about that. We dealt with the same stuff. We started with a single mic that was Bluetooth to an iPad.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we look back on it, we're like, I don't even know how we made that work.
Right. Yep. But when you have a small budget and a big mind, you figure it out.
Well, I get personally asked a lot, whether it's through Facebook Messenger, on the page, or whatever. Guys want to know. So you have a subscription that is through DerbyNation.tv. I believe it's like $39.95 a month. They are asking, does that subscription cover the pay-per-views that are on for that month?
No, not the live. So you can watch the replays, but it doesn't include the live. And we had 2 different packages. One was just the base, which I believe was I can't remember if it was $19.99 or $24.99. And then we had, I think it was $24.99. And then we had one that was $34.99, which included the Wreck This tours, which the Wreck This tour was one live event per month that we would provide free to the Wreck This Tour subscribers. It's kind of gotten to the point where it's been tough to find events in December, January, February, and even some in July. I mean, yes, there are a lot of county fairs, but a lot of our guys need vacation time too. And so it's gotten to the point where we decided to sunset the Wreck This tour. And so everybody that has been on a $34.99 subscription has been reverted back to I believe a $24.99 subscription. So everybody's back on the same, and so there are no lives included anymore. It's back to just the replay only, the way it always has been, and that's just what we've decided to do moving forward for now.
So there's your answer, guys. You can quit asking.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know how much better he could have explained that.
Right, yeah, and I'm sure our support gets, that's part of what's great about being on the platform that we're on is I don't get asked those questions. I just get to forward them to support, and they take care of it all. But it's part of what you pay for, too. So, but yep, you got it straight from the horse's mouth.
Well, Mark, how do you guys decide where you're going to go in a calendar year for shows?
Well, it's kind of, first come, first serve. And, the people that we have been working with and have contracts with obviously get first choice and first dibs on dates. And we do our best to try and coordinate with everyone to try and be like, hey, this date's already booked, this date's already booked. Try not to, pick this date for yours, because it helps everybody. It helps us not have to do a double weekend. It helps the fans not have to choose. And sometimes promoters have specific weekends where that's the only date that their venue has available, or they did a 3-year contract in advance and they pre-picked the dates, and that's just the way it works. And so that's a lot of times where you see double weekends. It's out of everybody's hands are tied, and there's nothing you can do. I don't think anybody purposely chooses to be on a double or triple weekend. Nobody deep down I think wants that, but there's only so many weeks in a year, and there's a lot of good shows out there.
Well, I mean, we use you for a major tool for this show because we try to go to almost all of them, but there's just those times where we just can't make that shit work. And so guess what?
There's 70% of our content. I mean,
it's from watching yours. Yeah.
Watching replays. Yep.
Yeah.
Your tool.
Yeah.
Oh, I never watch a replay. I watch that shit live.
Yeah. I know. I watch the replay because I don't have time to do that.
Right.
I make time.
Right. Yep.
But
if it wasn't for what you've started, it would be really, really hard for us to do our job.
Right. Yep. And it's, we've for years, we try to, follow trends and watch data and things, and why does Friday sell more than Saturday, especially when Saturday's championship day, and it sometimes doesn't make sense, but then when you think about, really the way I figured it out is you see people checking in on the pay-per-view on Friday, and then the next day you see them at the Derby, and it's like, they couldn't get off work early enough to make it, so they watched the pay-per-view Friday, and then they drove Saturday morning, to come physically to the Derby. So they're getting the best of both worlds. You're not missing out on who qualified, and then you can come watch it in person the next day.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, we end up doing that quite a bit throughout the year, and it just makes it so much easier.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you don't have to miss the show. You don't miss the entire show, or half of it.
Yep.
So.
Well, dude. Okay. Let's get off some of the business stuff. You have been running Derby cars for quite a while.
Yep. 2002 was my first Derby, or maybe 2001.
What rock did you bounce your head off of to decide that you wanted to do this crazy shit?
So my family grew up literally a block from the county fairgrounds in Henry. Our house was right on the highway, and we had a swing set in the backyard, and every July we'd sit on the swing set and just watch derby cars drive down the highway to the fair. Back then nobody cared about anything, and they'd literally drive them to the down the highway to the derby, and we would count them, and if we got into the 20s seeing them drive in from just to north, then you knew you were going to it was going to be a big show, and then we were begging Dad to take us, and it'd be just like everybody's story back in the 90s, 100 plus wagons and whatever. It was just like it was the coolest thing to just sit on your swing set and watch different cars drive down the highway.
Yeah.
And so I just knew I wanted to do it someday. And as soon as I was 16 and realized that there were more derbies than just the one in Henry, because that's when you live in this small bubble, that's all you know. And when I realized there were more, me and my brother started just driving. As soon as I got my license, we started going to other county fairs because my parents weren't derby people. They weren't going to take us there, and just I fell in love with the sport from that point. And by the time, I think when I was 20, I found my first car and knocked on some doors of some derby drivers I looked up to, Shane and Sean Carr, and they kind of helped me get my first few cars built, and just went from there. So,
well, now your boy CJ, is progressing with this. When you and I spoke at South
I don't
Dakota,
know that progressing is the word for that. Thriving is more so.
Well, I think those two kind of go hand in hand with that.
Sure.
Because when I talked to you at South Dakota at Gold Rush, you hadn't got to get in a car for a while now.
Yeah, it's been since I was hurt. What was that? 2022. He's done great in so he's actually been doing. It's more me actually. I love seeing him run, and as of right now, because of his age, he's 13 still. You wouldn't think it, seeing his size, and even sometimes the way he drives, but it's still a requirement for an adult to be in the car with him because he's 13, and so I get every bit of enjoyment out of those builds, and so he's using my setup in half the cars because it's a lot to have two setups anyway, but one's quote unquote mine, one's quote unquote his. He's earned a lot of the stuff. If he wants new things or different things, you want a shiny pair of headers, you're gonna have to use your winnings. He broke a transmission, I'm gonna make him pay for it. Like, he's got to feel the burn a little bit, or the sting. And he actually has saved all the money that he's won, and he put half down on a Fushi engine a couple months ago, and he's got till mid-February. I think it'll be ready. So he's itching to get that bad boy.
Well, it is known by the world of Facebook that they've kind of put Spring X was always individual youth. Well, this year in 2025, they have gone to a two-man youth team show.
Yep.
Like I said, the world knows that CJ and Cam Penwell are teammates.
Yep.
You kind of gave me the 411 up in South Dakota on how that happened.
Yeah. So we were actually in Southern Illinois at the Destruction at the Dome when Taylor or Derby Icons, I'm pretty sure it's probably Taylor that posted it, about the two-man youth. And I was actually leaning on Cam Penwell's hood down there. And I said, hey, guys, check this out. Well, actually, it was Tony. It was CJ was standing there, and Tony Cam went to go get a drink. And I said, Tony, you think Cam would want to run with CJ? And he goes, I don't even think I got to ask him. I think I know the answer. He come back, and I think Tony must have texted him because he come back and he said, oh, are we doing this or what? So it was just like, boom, done. But yeah, that's how that happened. So
that is what is so awesome in the sport is when two kids that age, 13, 14 years old, and they're running on the level that they are running on. I understand it's youth, but they're running national level youth events.
Yeah.
But you're talking a power team.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Because neither one of them are a joke.
No.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think they both have similar driving styles. Like they can get aggressive when they want, but they can hold back when they need. You know what I mean? And you can call it a sandbagger if you want. You can call it smart if you want. I don't care. But CJ's mind is and always has been like a sponge. Anything you tell him, he remembers it. And so from the first Derby till even the last one that we just previously ran, there's always certain criteria that I say, you have to do this, you have to do this, and you can't do this. Like, you can't use your front end until I tell you. Certain things, like you need to learn to use the back end of your car. And really the last Derby, he used every bit of the back end up so much that it got to the point like people were teeing off on the back of it, and rightfully so. You want to try and get it to dump right in front of the tire or something. But it got to the point where they threw a red flag to check out his fuel cell because they were bending the tank protector into the fuel cell, and I think we had maybe one more hit left before it was going to just explode the fuel tank. Every hit I was watching, I'm like, you have to protect your back end. Do not let anybody touch it. And so that was how he ended up kind of getting nosed in the last Derby was he was protecting it, and then he had nowhere else to go. And I said, here he comes, hold on. There was no other choice, but that's kind of part of the game. And like he had to protect one end and he couldn't protect the other. So, but he listens very well. There's times where he tells me to shut up in the car, and probably rightfully so. But I give myself some criteria now, especially lately. I try to do less talking and less directing because he already knows what to do. It's just sometimes when it gets really hairy, I'll start, maybe like, you need to get out of here, but it used to be turn left, turn right, back up, do this to get out of here. Now it's just get out of the situation. That's
Yeah.
it. So he's really good. And Cam's, I really think Cam's the same way. They're always got their head on a swivel. They're pretty aware of things, so I think they'll be a good team.
Well, I told you that we were going to kind of get off the business side, but this is kind of go right with that. World knows that you guys have Derby builds. With the DerbyNation.tv, and Mr. Luke Schaffner is the main builder for Derby builds.
Right.
How much does that play a part where CJ can get in there, get his hands dirty, Luke can show him the ropes, you're showing him the ropes, not just on the driving side, but actually on the build process and the effects of certain hits to his car?
Oh, absolutely. It's huge. We're really lucky to have Luke on our team, and the work he does is incredible. I mean, I've learned a lot of things off of him, and he's 15 years younger than me. He's a smart guy, and he works hard. A lot of attention to detail. I am very detail oriented, and we always go over everything. I'll go after Luke goes over everything. I go over everything. I'll zip tie a couple extra things if I think it's not, as good or whatever. And sometimes they miss stuff. We were at inspection, and an inspector noticed a bolt was loose on one of the trailing arms. Like, oops, but we're all human. We make mistakes, and we got it fixed. But there are so many things that Luke does with CJ that I don't even see, because sometimes I'll just be like, look, I don't have time to go on the shop today, but you go out and work with Luke and make sure you stay busy. And so I'll check in with Luke later. I'm like, how's he doing? He's doing pretty good. When he was really young, it'd be like he'd be out climbing on a rock pile and spray painting on cars that he didn't need to, but now he really gets into it, and that just comes with age and maturity, and really getting used to, welding and torching. Torching it is trickier than welding because, there's a flame and it can be intimidating, and it can throw sparks back. And so, but he's to the point now where he's like, when are we stripping my car out? So Christmas break next week, we're stripping his car out and to get ready for the next build. So he's always asking to go out to the shop, which is a good thing.
Yes, that's another kid that's not stuck on his
On an
cell phone or an
iPad.
iPad.
Oh, man, it drives me nuts.
He games plenty, trust me. but he also wants to be in the shop, so that's good.
Well, Mark, 2025 is among us, pretty damn fast. I know you guys start in January down at Sturgis, Kentucky for Wicked Warzone, and you guys go through all the way to about the middle of November.
Yep.
Is there anything groundbreaking that we can kind of all the consumers be looking for, whether it's on the T-shirt design aspect or the show aspect?
Our biggest thing that we made a really big commitment and upgrade this past year. I pulled the trigger about this time last year on a brand new printer. It's one of the best printers money can buy. And we finally got it, we got it installed in June and dialed in, August-ish. And it's been a real workhorse for us. And the unique thing about this is it allows us to print on demand. And so we no longer have to have pre-orders for drivers. You need to pre-sell 48 before you can order. If you sell 2, that's okay. I mean, there's a price difference, obviously, but we can print on demand. So even if you did a pre-sale to get a better price, somebody always misses it, right? And so 3 weeks later, you missed the pre-sale, we could still print one. We actually started, we haven't made a Facebook page yet. It's on the list to do, but there's another website out there called derbygarage.com. There used to be a derbygarage.com a long time ago, and the domain came up for sale about 6 months ago or so, and so I snagged it when I saw it. But we relaunched it, and what that is that's housing designs for drivers and vendors, and you can go on there. You can just order, a Butch and Jody shirt. You can order a Post and Mopar shirt, and and any driver, whoever's on there, you can just order one here, one there, teams, whatever. And so that's something that we haven't really made mainstream public. It's just been on an as needed basis. Mm-hmm. And it's done really well so far with teams leading up to Gold Rush and Bills Bash, and like I said, we have a Butch and Jody, and we're working with vendors to get them on there so they don't have to worry about carrying inventory. It's going to help out a lot of people, and we're pretty excited for that. So the on-demand printing is, everybody wants things now, not in 3 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's the way the world's turning, and so that's the direction we went to.
So now you're actually going to be able to, instead of say, let's just say EPR, okay? Mm-hmm. Instead of Adam or Craig having to order 200 shirts, now the guys can just get a hold of you and say, hey, I need 2 2Xs and a hoodie, 1 XL, and then you just direct drop ship it right to them after payment.
Yep, we could just literally print 3 of them. Yep. So because we've even had as people learn about this, and I tell people whatever, they're like, oh, so you mean to tell me that I ran Metal Mayhem 2018 and I burn a hole through the front of it welding, I could order a new one of those? And so we could literally, in any design that we have, we've saved every design since 2003. I have it all saved, all backed up too. And so I could literally pull up any design from any event. If you were a customer that ordered something in 2007, some sort of team shirt or something, I've got it saved. We save everything. And so you could order one of something from a long time ago. It is possible.
That's killer. That's killer.
Yeah.
Because them people out there have that one favorite hoodie or that one favorite shirt, and it's their good luck charm. And next thing you know, that son of a bitch caught flames and went down the road, and they could never replace it. But now you can.
Right, exactly.
Well, one thing that we were at King of Ohio. We know George and I think Billy was there. Have you guys started implementing a drone?
Yeah, we've had a drone for quite a while, and we don't use it for every broadcast because it takes an extra guy. Mm-hmm. It just depends on the amount of people that we have available to be able to do it, and then it also depends on the location that we're in. If we're too close to an airport, you can't fly it. Yes. So
yes.
There are certain stipulations and reasons why we can or can't. because self-service also has something to do with it too, with being able to do that in addition. But anyway, yeah. So we do have a drone. We have the capability of doing a live drone. It just I would love to be able to do live drones. I'd love to be able to do live in cars everywhere you go, but it takes so many moving parts that it's just tough to do all the time.
I know there's always an in car when I can see George running across the track, pulling a camera out of one and going to another one. So usually when old Mr. High Note is running, that's when you know there's going to be in-car footage for the next night.
Yep. We keep them busy.
Well, Mark, you're busy. We know you're busy. We're going to let you get to trying to enjoy your weekend after a hockey game. And, dude, we will catch up with you, whether it's at
for sure,
Sturgis at the Wicked Team Show or Spring X or Border Wars or
somewhere
Cornhusker Chaos. We'll catch you somewhere. So
I'm sure.
Well, we appreciate your time, man, and you have a good rest of your weekend.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, you guys. Have a good weekend too.
Have a Merry Christmas, Mark.
Yep, Merry Christmas.
All right, buddy. All right, bye.
Bye.
Well, we just said we get somebody on that could probably answer all that stuff.
Well, and that's not the first time he's answered those questions.
No. That, just like what he was talking about on that last part right there. Dude, how badass is that? So you say you order some team shirts in 2015. Man, there's about 8 guys that they've been busting my balls and wanting me to get, some more of these. So you just send them over a message that, hey, I need this from 2015, and they're shipped to the doorstep. I don't know how the Derby Nation stuff can get any better than what it is right now.
It won't until internet gets better.
How the hell can internet get better? That's what
I'm getting at. You know what I mean? That, because anybody can say what they want. That is the kicking the balls right now.
Which I know Johnny's group, they couldn't do the live stream for Hurricane Utah because they took the internet out. So they were able to video it and then launch it the next day or whatever. But, what these guys are doing is, we're not the only podcast in this world that cover Demolition Derby. I'm going to probably guess that we're the only ones that do what we do. Going to the shows, watching all of it, covering local stuff, covering national level stuff, national level promoters, local promoters. I guess that's our niche,
right?
Is what you call it.
Yeah.
So if there's a company out there that we can use as a tool to make our show better for our consumers and our listeners, so be it.
Well, and I'm good with promoting all of them.
Yes.
Everybody thinks that we have to have money from these people or getting something out of it to push them, and it's not like that. We try to help anybody out that will better the sport.
Yes.
It's that simple. Mm-hmm. Now, do I enjoy perks? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
But it's not a requirement for me to promote something.
No.
Does it help? Maybe a little.
It's kind of out there a little bit. While we're on that subject, you and I had talked after Dale's episode. One thing that we're probably going to try to implement is all the promoters out there. If you want us to come to a show, the only thing that we would like is to be taken care of.
Yes.
We don't want to make money off of any promoter. We've said that
we're trying to help you.
Yes. So if you can maybe cover us a room.
But we figured it up, and I would say between the both of us, we had between that $5,000 and $8,000 range in going to these shows. And I'm not saying by any means that there was promoters out there that didn't take care of us. You know,
Correct.
Dustin, awesome.
Had
Johnny,
hotels waiting for us. Yeah.
killer. And I'm not even so much as looking for the free entry to your show. You know, hell, Sam. Arms. Doors are wide
Tickets
open.
ready. Come see me. We'll put a band on it.
And I mean that's awesome. It's the hotel and travel expense.
Yes.
That's really killing me.
Yep.
And it wouldn't if we did like most people do, and we go to one or two big shows. But we try to hit 10.
And utilizing Mark's, the Derby Nation.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
well, it cost Bristol. I think cost me roughly $100 to watch.
Yeah.
That was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah, because they did the heat draw and stuff on Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay, so Wednesday was free, so they started running heats on Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I watched that for $25 a day and didn't have to leave my house.
Right. Yeah, it cost me a little bit more than that.
Well, you went to run. Your fault. Actually, no, I can't say it's your fault. Well, yeah, I can. That was your fault. So, guys, there is tools out there for you. If you can't make a show and you don't want to wait until the next Thursday to listen to us covering it, you can do, just like he said, it's the $34.95, I believe, a monthly subscription, and you can watch the replays on all the shows.
Oh, yeah.
Plus the Derby builds. Every Derby build episode is on that platform as well, and you can go right to it, watch as many episodes. You want to binge that shit, you're off for Christmas, you can sit there and just click on it and go to Derby builds and watch from season 1, episode 1, all the way to the newest one. That's when you're going to see,
Yes.
how Luke cuts out drivetrain. Because Luke cuts the entire car in half. He cuts it at the boxes and pulls everything forward.
Yeah.
Some guys do it that way, some guys don't. And you might be able to see little tips or tricks in there, what Luke does on these builds, whether it's with CJ Weldon, whether it's his Bristol build, whether it's his Spring X build.
What more can you ask for on that? I mean, seriously. Like if you stand back and you think about it, like, these people are going above and beyond to get this sport to your living room.
Mm-hmm. Never have to leave the house. You can watch 80% of the national level events
Yes.
on one platform and never have to leave your couch
Living room. Yeah.
unless you're going to the grocery store to buy beer or taco accoutrements. That's nice.
Right. 100%.
I'll be like, hey, Steven, you going to come over? No, I got the kids. Well, I'm going to watch the Derby. Fuck them kids.
You want to do a Tales from the trailer?
Tales from the Trailer segment.
Let me get this pulled up here. It's gonna be a little audio.
So what Steven actually has is a voice message. So instead of us reading it, we're going to let the consumer read it for you. Who was that from, Steven?
That would be Mr. Sterling Lair. All right, are we ready?
We're ready.
I was on Facebook one night, and it was about 8 o'clock, and I saw a pristine Chevy Lumina, and I said I wanted that, but the problem was it was in East St. Louis. Didn't have a truck or a trailer at the time, and the transmission was a little messed up. The guy said it needed a transmission flush, so I was going to have to drive it back home. I didn't have the cash on me at the time, but I talked to the guy a little bit and was able to jam him down, and I was able to go to the ATM, and I got it, and I told my brother, I said, get in my car, and we're going to go pick this up. I was still in college at the time, and I had a 8 a.m. class the next day, I left my house at around 10 o'clock, give or take. Got down at his place in East St. Louis at about 12. Paid the guy the money. Was the most sketched out, methed out person I've ever met in my life. And then I got my brother to drive my car home because I had to drive this thing home, and it was rattling and shaking and whole 9 yards. The transmission, it didn't have all the gears, so you could only go about 40-some miles an hour. So we're going down the back roads and everything. Finally get to Quincy, Illinois, and I look at the clock, and it is 4 o'clock in the morning, and we left this cat's house at about 12:30 at night. It was the most sketchiest thing. The car I thought was going to fall apart about 6 different times, and we could not move at all. And I said to myself, if this thing breaks down, I'm going to have to push it home with a Ford Fusion, and that thing will be the next thing that gets demoed. The guy himself, he was the most sketchy, thugged out guy you can think of. Methed up, whole 9 yards, and he was not an interesting individual to meet with that, and I thought I was probably going to get shot at the time as well.
See, there's that sketchiness right there. You were devoted so much to drive to East St. Louis to pick this thing up without a truck or a trailer.
Midnight.
Remember when I said I want to hear that Highway 3 East St. Louis?
Oh, compact guys, dude.
Dudes, that's the thing. We have both figured out that the compact dudes are some sketchy. They do some sketchy shit, anyways, right? So we haven't heard of a big car dude that's going to go to East St. Louis for a car at midnight.
I bet that shows up.
I hope.
I bet that story shows up.
I hope. We were actually talking last week with Dale that Mr. Jeremy Petty sent over a message.
Oh, yeah. I'll let you take the lead on this
The
one.
hard part about this is you guys are going to have to see the picture, so we will actually post that on this on the episode. See, he actually sent us two. He said, I don't have really any sketchy stories, but I've used the old my kids looking for a first car. So they have something to drive when they get their license, and I'm looking for a fuel-efficient vehicle. We've noticed that's kind of been a trend here.
Oh yeah. Or I'm fixing this, and I've got 2 of these, and
So he says, I did have a guy sell me a 1980 Datsun wagon for a daily driver. He showed up 3 days later to find it stripped out, and he was pissed. But he's got a picture here, and we will post the picture. And
this isn't really the sketchiness on this
No.
one. This was
this
just
is what Daniel was talking about. You know, you go there to pick up a car, next thing you know, you're hauling this bitch out of there 5 hours later.
Well, yeah, and you're taking it out of the woods in pieces. You know,
Like out of the woods.
yeah.
Enough woods you couldn't see the car in the picture.
Yeah, there's nothing there. And the good part about this, and the best way to explain this whenever we post these pictures, is one picture's taken in the daylight. And then when said car is on the trailer, it is dark.
Yes. Really dark. Yes, it is absolutely crazy.
But it's a metric Ford wagon that he literally
Drug out of the weeds.
Yes, 100%.
He had to drag it smooth out of the weeds.
I really, really, really hope that these stories keep coming in, because I'm enjoying the shit out of this new segment. So much so that I had something designed for it that we will also be posting with this episode.
Well,
Because I'm getting a shirt that says Tales from the Trailer on it.
we have what we do, we have a lot of guys that reach out to us. A few weeks ago we were talking about New Year's Day up in Michigan RC Derby.
Yes.
We have a lot of guys who are starting promotion groups all around the nation, and they're getting a hold of us. This gentleman, his name is Ronald Waddell. He is putting a demolition derby in Mojave County, Arizona.
Right.
We know Arizona from a lot of those guys will actually go up into Utah,
Right.
run the stir and dirt stuff, run destructive behavior stuff.
Yes.
So there's states that we don't really know how big.
Derby is.
Correct.
I mean, we know that there's guys from there, but we don't know personally the derbies that are around there.
Yes.
You know, it's like we know there's derbies in Texas, but we haven't got to hit on that much because we don't get to see that.
Correct. You know, Tiny Losi
Yeah.
puts on the show in August down there.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I've never personally got to witness any of that. I don't even know if I've ever seen video from it.
I haven't.
So whenever you get into that Southern Derby stuff, you know, I mean, we have seen stuff from like Florida and stuff like that, but you even get into like Georgia, Mississippi, you know, stuff like, I don't know what's going on down
You
there.
got a clue.
I mean, are they derbying in the bayou?
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, are the Cajuns running airboats into each other and whatnot?
Put that on a cracker, dude. But Mr. Ronald, they are doing Mojave County, Arizona. All the proceeds are going to the Oatman, Arizona Fire Department. It's 100% volunteer. That thing is called Valentine's Mayhem. There is a pre-registration for it. It's going to be, I believe it's January the 18th.
See, whenever you tell me pre-registry, it almost makes me feel like they know that there's going to be cars there.
Correct. Or at least they want to have an idea.
Right, and you see that, but more times than not, if there's pre-registry, usually there's an expected car count.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you know, these things are... One thing we have figured out, these shows are popping up everywhere. We know that. The level of some of them, we don't know.
No.
Just like the other night, we were talking about the Salisbury Team Show.
Right.
I haven't personally saw a list for it.
Well, I don't think there is one.
But then we were talking to guys that said, oh, yeah, I've seen the list. How the hell did you see the list? I haven't seen it yet. We're usually one of the first ones
I
to
might
kind of
have
see
done something stupid last night, but it is what it is.
So you just don't know. That is where we have talked. Social media is a tool.
Yeah.
Use it. Use it. When Bill was in here from Old Buds,
Yeah.
we looked for the date. What'd you say? I had to scroll a day and a half to find it.
Yes.
They're putting other stuff on there, but they're not.
And there's a really badass tool on there. And like I said, they may not know about it. They really may not. You can pin post. Mm-hmm. And that keeps them at the top.
Top of the page.
Yep. Because we learned that the hard way ourselves.
Yes.
Because we had people bitching about us about it too. Like whenever we were putting on derbies.
Oh, yeah.
Can't find your rules. Fuck, I just posted those. But I also posted 74 other things. So.
So you pin it to the top so they can see it right off the rip.
These are...
Yep. We've hit on it. People have been asking. We're going to go live.
This Sunday.
December 29th?
Yeah.
Am I correct on the date?
This Sunday.
So we're going to go live. Get what you've been asking for. We're going to be should be at 4,000 followers. We said we were going to do some stuff.
Right.
We'll get a couple other guys on board, we're hoping. We're going to do it at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. Stevens time.
Stevens time.
Stevens time.
I'll be late.
So, guys, East Coast, that will be
I don't know.
3 o'clock.
Nope, it's 2 o'clock my time.
2 o'clock.
And on the West Coast.
Then there's Mountain Time, which will be at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock Stephen time.
Right.
California, Cameron Wilson time, that will be noon.
2 o'clock Stephen
2
time.
o'clock Stephen time. So, we will get some stuff lined out before that Sunday. We will make another post about it.
Yep. And we'll post a picture to it because it seems like you all react better when we put a picture on a post.
I think they were paying more of attention to the person on the left side of that picture than the right side of that picture.
Yeah, maybe if you were looking at it from the back of the phone.
But
Dude, that post blew up.
it did. Yeah, it did.
It got way more traction than what I expected.
There were some people that were say they would call some people
I got
out.
called out like 3 times.
Yes, you did. One for talking shit.
I don't talk shit.
A couple I saw coming. There was some stuff on there that nobody posted, and I kind of figured they would.
Right.
I mean, off of a reel that had 100,000 views.
Right.
I figured that would be at least mentioned once, and
Right.
it wasn't.
I just posted that yesterday. It's been less than 24 hours since I posted that.
That did kind of throw me a curveball.
The amount of shares that it got was what blew my mind. Like, I've been going and checking those out because there's comments on those too.
Yes.
I'm going to try to get more interactive with you guys on Facebook now that, my season's kind of winding down. And I've got a little bit more time to play around on the book face.
About time.
Well, other than my 7-minute intervals that I get at work to get on there and share a bunch of shit real quick and then get off. The fan interaction is probably my favorite part of doing this.
Yeah. Hearing stories, getting these things sent to
Love
us.
it.
That is what is cool.
Because I am a sit around the shop, drink beer, and bullshit type person. And that's kind of what it feels like on some of these posts and messages and stuff like that. And all bullshit aside, man, that's why I started this. That's why I wanted to do this.
Go back to what you said. If guys, there's so many shows out there, whether you don't know about it or not, you're scrolling through Facebook and you see that shit, share it. Click on it and share it. Whether you don't like the promoter or not.
Right.
I've personally said it right here. There's a promoter around here that I do not care for.
No, and we tell everybody when their shows are.
Yep. Because we usually always got buddies that are running it.
Right. And what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yeah. Yeah, their show's getting videoed.
Yep.
It doesn't cost them a dime
Right.
for their show to get videoed. So, dude, Mark Klein, appreciate it. He enlightened you on some stuff.
Yeah,
How he
I'm ready
started
to
this.
get that dude set down.
Yep.
Because we've said it a million times. The face-to-face interviews are always way better.
Well, Mark was he was going to drive 4 hours over here, and I was like, Mark, don't drive 4 hours over here. I don't think he realized it was 4 hours, but I was like, no, let's just do yours over the phone. That's way
and
too
we'll
far.
meet up. Like, we will cross paths again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, Tales from the Trailer. You guys keep sending them, and we're going to keep reading them. Mark, appreciate you taking your time out. Guys, we've got a full winter.
If y'all don't send us stories for that, I'll start making shit up.
He's not lying, dudes. I'm serious. He ain't lying.
I'm not letting the segment die yet.
Next episode,
Oof.
it's gonna
It's gonna get a little
that might
dicey.
could be read on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Because we do Facebook Live on Sunday, but the actual audio for that will be pulled to the Thursday's episode after that. So, are you going to say a name when you read it?
I don't know yet.
He'll know it because he'll be watching. So,
And I'm sure there's some people that know him
oh yes,
that have heard the story.
yep, guarantee it. Well, man, I think that's a good spot. Got any last words?
Merry Christmas. I guess I did have 2 words.
Make junk, boys.
Fisher built. Fuel tanks are the next generation of fuel tanks on the demolition derby parts market to date. With stainless steel construction, every tank is internally welded, braced, baffled, and pressure tested, with 2 standard size options available.
Fisher Built Tanks have you covered. From your local county fair shows all the way to your national level events, where you need maximum fuel capacity and structural integrity to get you to the end. If you are in need of a next level design tank, or you just need a second fuel tank for your new setup. Give Fisher Built a chance to earn your business. You won't be disappointed.